to the Check Swing Podcast. What's going on, y'all? I'm just feeling a little goofy today. Welcome to the Check Swing Podcast with myself and the starter show over there, Mr. Coach Santa. What's going on, Coach?
Hey, sir, how art thou? And great job on the intro.
Oh well, thank you very much. I'm good, man. I'm good. It was a beautiful day here in the city of brotherly love, man. We got out to South Ardmore Park today for a little bit. Did a training. You know, just enjoying what there is to enjoy out here, man. How you been?
Well, I got to admit today was kind of a rough day. My we the team that I'm head coach of played second game of a four-game tournament this weekend down here in Annapolis. We were up 6-0 in the fifth inning. I had to go to my bullpen, and they proceeded to give up seven unanswered runs, and we lost 7-6 today in the last inning.
That hurts. That hurts right there.
Yeah,
Been there. Definitely been there as a player, as a coach. Definitely have been there. But we always know better days are to come. You got a group of guys that really like to fight and scrap out there. So, I'm sure y'all gonna have some success this weekend coming off the heels of, they're gonna let that fuel them. That's a nasty taste. I'm telling you right now.
yeah, yeah. We got some work to do, but I need to give mad props to the team that we played. It was actually a team we actually played last year at Old Dominion when we had that 2 hour, 50-minute rain delay. Um, but the coach actually came up. So
Well, I
the
could weekend I was
it's
sick, right?
I didn't yeah I didn't mean to bring up old wounds.
No, it's all good. I was just thinking about it, like, man, Old Dominion. I don't remember going to Old Dominion.
But it was interesting. So today was an interesting day because we were kind of the victims of. We kind of touched on this every once in a while in regards to like parents and like umpires and volunteering to actually becoming umpires. Um, but we were supposed to have two umpires to start the game at 3:30, and they just left. They just walked off, and the organization that was running the event was like, "Yo, I'm sorry, they shouldn't have walked off. They they were scheduled for four games. They said no, we're only doing three, and that's it." So the organizer apologized to us, and then he's all right. I got somebody coming, but it'll be 45 minutes. So we didn't start the game until 4:15. Now, mind you, my pitcher's hot. My guy's pitcher is hot. And we felt bad because we were trying to like, listen, we don't need no umpires. We'll do it ourselves. But the organizers were like, no, we won't do that. But I mean, I can go a little bit more into this later. But it was that's like the touch of the drama, and I'll kind of wrap it up, later. But
It's kind of crazy because this is the in the last month and a half. This is the third time I've heard a story about umpires leaving a game, and
yeah,
one I was a part of.
yeah. And we had. I'll tell you another story. I'll start another story and finish it later. But when we were down in Richmond 2 weeks ago, the head of umpires for Virginia High School National Association, he kind of gave me a tidbit on why there's such an umpire shortage. So I can touch on that a little later.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm trying to adjust my seat here so I can sit back and
Is
be
that your
comfortable.
new seat? Is that your new seat, sir?
Yeah, yeah. I told you I got a new seat. I told you about it.
Oh,
Yes,
shucky duckies.
there we go. And I can sit back and be comfortable and kinda. And I should have set it up before the show, but I forgot I had it. So
It took you a year to get comfortable in your own chair.
listen, this. I'm not going to incriminate myself by telling stories about this chair already, but let's just say it was needed, and it's being enjoyed. Okay. Um, Crazy week for the Philly. Hold up. Okay, just want to make sure. Crazy week for the Phillies, right? Um, if you follow the Phillies, if you're a Phillies fan, if you follow baseball, or a baseball fan that you heard about Bryce Harper of the Phillies, star player, current MVP, reigning MVP, excuse me. Um, took one off the hand, man. He took one off the hand, broke his thumb, got a fractured thumb. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. Now, I saw the play. Didn't look like it was intentional or anything like that. Even the guy's reaction, I think it was Snell. I think Snell's reaction afterwards, it wasn't intentional. But Miguel, I know this is. I don't think this is where you wanted to go with this, but I have to say it. Bryce Harper gets hit quite a bit, and in some really like he's not catching it off the thigh, off the hip. He's catching off the hand, off the face, off the ankle, off the foot. Places people don't usually get hit, and he gets hit a lot. Or is it just me? Am I being sensitive because I'm a Phillies fan?
I'll say yes to both, but I think like you saw what happened to him last year when he got hit in the face, and then the pitcher immediately I think broke like Didi Gregorius's hip or inner elbow or whatever. I think because if, even when you were listening or watching baseball at the beginning of the season, the Mets were kind of complaining about getting hit all the time, and there were some bench clearing events. There were other teams that were complaining about it, but I think it has more to do from the stories that I've read with the actual baseball. And I think there was a stat that went out like in mid-April saying that this was the most hit by pitchers overall in the game. And there's this whole rumor now that Major League Baseball is doing something different with the baseballs, and
Right.
there's different grips. And it's not the first time we've heard that in any particular season. We've been hearing it a lot, especially the last couple of years, because I think that I think the baseballs are kind of being manipulated because there's people that normally have great control that are all of a sudden hitting players. So I don't know. I think it might be a combination of that going on. Um, but it's funny because even with Bryce Harper, like this is the first time he's ever broken a bone. Like other times he's had pulls, he's had, like that UCL tear. And
I
he
thought
did he did get
ankle or something.
he twisted it. I think he had a hyper like a what is it, a hyperextended or like a high knee sprain, I think, but it still was a sprain. It was never he
Okay.
just said
So
this
like
was
when he first came, he got hit in his foot preseason, and I remember him getting hit in his foot, but I don't remember what the injury was.
might have been a bruise, but I don't know that it was an actual break. But this is the first reported break of his career. So
Wow. And
yeah,
the
but
thumb.
and
So let's talk about it. Baseball guys talking about it. The timetable is like August, right?
six to eight
But
weeks. 6 to 8 weeks.
he has another. I think he has something else going on where I think he has like a UCL tear or something like that.
Right. On his
Um,
non on his throwing hand, actually.
and they're saying, there's talk about get both taken care of now, come back next season, or heal up and let's try to get this pushed to the playoffs. Where are you on that fence? And after that, I kind of want to talk about the effect of the injury, the thumb itself, when swinging the bat, and the way he swings the bat. But where are you on that? On the Bryce Harper, should he get it all fixed, come back next year ready to go, or you know, it's
I
a
mean,
tough one.
it is a tough one. I mean, the UCL, you're talking a year, so you're talking about he may not be back until this time next year.
Right?
And allegedly, the treatment that he got back, what about a month or two ago, the plasma injection, seems to be working because not for nothing, it's not affecting his swing. And prior to the broken thumb, he's MVP 2.0, first in All Star ballot, all that good stuff. So I don't know that you necessarily need to do it, especially since we have the DH. So it's like we're good, I think. Um, the thumb, on the other hand, is more tricky because, and he decided on the surgery, which is, they said they probably could have, waited for surgery in the off season and see what the pain level would be. But I think getting the surgery done on the thumb now is more important than the UCL because the UCL, as we see, is not affecting him at the plate. So it's like, why, let it heal over time and see how he does with it in the off season.
So
Uh,
it might be like a little nagging thing for him, but it doesn't affect his performance.
it doesn't even seem like it's nagging though. I mean, other than the fact that he looks like he's wearing like a robotic arm band or something, from his elbow, to his wrist. It looks funky, but it's working. And again, it hasn't affected his swing, his approach to the plate. He was putting up MVP numbers. It's the thumb that, and they say he's a quick healer. So even though it's 6 to 8 weeks, it may be sooner. So
Quick healer, but we've never seen him. At least we haven't seen him with a broken bone. Um,
touche.
Now to speak about the broken bone itself. So on his left hand, I believe, right? Left hand. So left-handed, his left hand is on top, kind of his guide hand, right?
Hmm.
Um, and holding the bat in your fingers, but your thumb has a lot. Your thumb has a lot of say so of what's going on with your swing. With that being the case, should he wait for that? Because we know if a thumb, and I know from experience, not with broken thumbs, but I've dislocated both thumbs multiple times. All right. Probably a shock to people out there. It's happened multiple times. And when it happens, it always popped out and popped right back in. So I've never had to you
Have you
know,
done them at the same time though?
yes.
You did tell. I'm sorry. I apologize. I wasn't supposed to bring that story to light. I apologize
Uh,
to the fans out there.
I forgot I told it on this show, but yes, I have.
Oh, you
Did
did
I?
tell it. No,
I might. I don't know,
no, no,
but
no, because it was one of those. Hey, this is something I didn't want to tell on the show. That's exactly, I think, how you worded
yeah,
it.
it's kind of embarrassing. I went to grab a basketball and I over grab whatever. I've dislocated both thumbs at the same time. Yes, and they both popped back in. So, um, thumb injuries are difficult, especially with things like if it's a soccer player, I'd be like, he'd be all right. Baseball player, basketball player, quarterback, receiver, a thumb injury is very difficult to really gauge and difficult to make to be 100%, I think. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, definitely, because you're talking about, you and I have taught our players to kind of have the bat handle, in um, the bend of the hinge of the fingers, and have the thumb kind of as the guide, so to speak, or the lead on it. So yeah, it's there's no way he would be able to swing, and I think you would do more damage trying to attempt it. So I'm actually glad that he got the surgery, even though 6 to 8 weeks is kind of a lifetime, especially in the heat of a pennant race. um
Hmm.
but I think it was the right thing to do for the thumb, because you just simply can't hit with any breaks in the hand. I don't see how else you could even attempt it.
But do you think he comes back this season from
I,
like 100% with and think about the veracity maybe of his swing, like
he's
how
a,
hard it swings. Like
he's a violent swinger. He's definitely a violent swinger. um and we can I have the video up on the thing.
oh, I'm sorry, I just got a weird text message. Sorry.
Uh-oh. I
There
get
we
those too. But yeah, I think you know and when you first look at it, I thought he got hit like square on the hand. And it's weird how, like, when you see it in slow mo and you see what it actually hit, just like when it hit Harper in the face last year, I thought it like hit him in the helmet. You
You know
know,
what's crazy? I have not seen this in slow mo yet. The slow mo part of this, because
hmm
now that I know he got hit on the left hand and seeing how he was holding the bat, I'm wondering like if did it hit his thumb like straight on
I
or
believe it did. That's what I thought. That's why you see him holding his thumb right there.
yeah.
You can kind of see,
Oh,
you know,
that's painful stuff right there, boy.
yeah, and I think
Ooh.
so when the fans started booing here, but even when he's looking back, he's like, I know you didn't do it on purpose. So it's like, oh, he's being a jerk, Philly, guy. He's like, we're good. So he said he knows that it wasn't done on purpose. So but people were trying to put, I guess, Philly in another bad light or whatever, briefly, but when you put it in perspective.
I was I turned to the game after it happened. So when I turned to the game that night, and I didn't hear, like, I turned it on as they said that he had a broke thumb or whatever the case is, but I didn't hear the broke thumb part. I just heard like he won't return, and what, and it sounded like somebody died, and I
No.
thought, what happened and who did it happen to, and was it even in the Phillies game? Because I think it was Ben, what's his name, Ben Davis, and uh,
McCarthy.
and McCarthy. You would have thought somebody was killed. You would have thought. I mean, it's not something to be excited about, but it was just like, man. I mean, you just felt like it
But
just
was
it's by
yeah,
me turning it on and not knowing what happened.
it was
It was.
yeah, it was the same reaction when he got hit in the face last year. It
I
was
would have even thought he got hit in the face.
right.
Like I like that. That came to mind too. Like somebody must have got hit in the face, and it was terrible. But
Yeah.
man, hope he hope he has a full recovery, man. Especially since he's on my team. Um, and I'm glad that there was no retaliation, right? At least I don't remember seeing any
No,
retaliation.
there wasn't any retaliation because again, when you're in that moment and because I've never been hit in the face. I got hit in the ribs. I got hit in the wrist. And it's like you feel that adrenaline. Like the first instinct is like so we were doing live ABs last Monday, and one of our pitchers, he actually has been clocked at like 87, 88. So I was like, all right, you're gonna throw him some live ABs, but he's kind of wild, right? So I remember he hit one of our pitchers who was hitting. That sound that the ball makes when it hits a body like dead in the back. All you hear is like, and then sometimes it's followed by the
Sounds like a drum with a pillow in it.
right. And yeah, so the first instinct when my player got hit, he slammed the bat down and he said, "You mother," So it's that instant of like the pain and then the anger from the pain and then immediately seeking revenge to when I look at him and say, "Are you good? Like, are you gonna what? Are you all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine, coach." I was like, "Oh, you just had to get that out real quick." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the when Harper was like barking back at Snell, he was like, "Yeah, I know you didn't do it on purpose. I know," but he's still going through the adrenaline of the pain and the anger that like there's nothing more gut wrenching or more like sad than when you're injured and are going to be gone for a long period of time. It happened when I broke my ankle my senior year of high school on a foul ball that I caught, and when I snapped my hamstring my sophomore year rounding third base. I just knew like that was bad. You know what I mean? It's like when Dak Prescott, you remember when he broke his leg in three places, like, and you just saw him cry
Yeah, because he knew.
because he knew he's like, oh my, like, and that's the cry that's like, wow, this could be the last play of my career.
Yeah.
Because there's always that fear.
There is there was a quick story. I once broke my foot in a car accident. I was young. I was a kid. I think I was in like the sixth grade, and I had a cast on, and I couldn't play in the basketball league that winter.
Mhm.
'Cause I had a broke leg, broke foot. Um, and I want to say maybe a few months after I got the cast off. Of course, we're getting ready for baseball season, right?
Right.
And I'm just thinking about the the anger. Okay, the anger you have when you know that you're going to be out. The anger and the fear. I was vacuuming, right? And we had a vacuum. I don't know if you remember. Some people may remember out there the rainbow vacuum cleaner. We had a rainbow vacuum cleaner, and it was like a little unit, and it sat on the floor. It had wheels on it that you could move it around and stuff. Attach a hose, all these accessories or whatever, right? You put water in it, dust gets in the water. It's stupid. It was dumb. It was awesome, but it was dumb. Anyway, I'm taking apart the vacuum, the poles that you put together, the accessories, and one fell straight down onto my toe. Boom.
Ooh.
And all I saw was like blood on my toe. My toenail was flipped up like that, and
Oh,
it was bad. And all I knew was I'm not going to be able to play baseball now. That was the only thought going through my head was I'm not going to be able to play baseball now. But I was cool. And I got to play or whatever. But I was crying, like I was literally
yeah.
crying. I thought I wasn't going to be able to play baseball that year.
No, I
So
got you.
I can understand. I can understand the pain. But yeah, there was no retaliation, and which means there was no fight. But that's not really what we can say about the Angels and the Mariners when they had their base brawl. I believe it was over the weekend. I think
Yeah.
it was wow. It was one of the biggest fights, baseball fights I've seen in. I I don't know how long it's been. It's been a long time since I've seen a fight like that, or if I've ever seen a fight like that. Yankees Red Sox comes to mind, but even like when you see fights on in baseball, it's usually like the batter coming after the pitcher. They have a couple exchange a couple shots. Maybe somebody else somewhere has a beef with somebody. Maybe they exchange a couple shots, but that's usually about it. A bunch of shoving, yelling, cussing, pointing, all like that. Wasn't necessarily the case in this one, right? This one was a little more involved. This one was a little more interesting. Should we just go ahead and show everybody right now?
Sure.
All right, let's show everybody
So,
the.
so this is kind of what preempted this, and sometimes what happens is it's retaliation for something that happens not even in the initial game, but prior to the night before. I think the Angels they weren't up big, but they were up, and there was a pitch that was high and tight to Mike Trout, and everybody knows Mike Trout is the golden boy for the Los Angeles Angels, and arguably for Major League Baseball. So that's kind of where this hit by pitch kind of comes from. Um, you're retaliating for coming after your star, or the alleged coming after the star. So this is kind of a buildup over time. And I believe these guys play each other like 10 or 12 more times. They're division rivals, so this would be like Phillies Mets, or Cardinals Cubs, stuff like that. So it's just interesting to see. There was actually a injury as well to Archie Bradley, who was a former Philly. He actually fractured his hand in the melee, and I believe quite a few people were suspended. Um, see if I can get uh, the exact number. I think it was something like 10 or 12 suspensions. It was something insane. Oh, and that
There,
was the thing
there
too.
were
Remember,
nine. I think there were three from the ain't no. There was three from maybe the Mariners, and there were like nine for the Angels, something like that. It was one team had like nine, the other one had like three,
right?
and
And
one of them. Go ahead.
no, no, no. And I think one of the players, I think the guy that actually wound up getting hit, he wound up giving the double bird to the fans. It's like, now it's one thing when you're starting to fight, but when you start directing stuff towards the fans, I always flash back to the Malice at the Palace, and it's like, don't get the fans involved, because that
Look
usually
at
does
that
not
all the way to the left. Like, rewind that a little bit, a little bit more. Look at the guy. All right. Hold on. Don't rewind it anymore. The guy all the way to the left was being held back by like one person. Like he was going nuts trying to get over this. Look. Get off me. He's doing all that and ain't going nowhere. Look. Look at that.
I
Look.
remind
Yeah.
you remember. You remember Manny Ramirez when he was the Dodgers, and I think somebody threw at him like a little bit high, and he like waited for the entire team to come out. Then he had the bat. He's like, "Come on, come on!"
Yeah.
It's like, "Come on, bro."
You can tell the people that really want to mix it up, and he ain't want to mix it up.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to mix it up. I thought that was funny. He's going all that nuts and being held back by one person.
Yeah, it's probably not even He looks like a bullpen catcher. No offense to the bullpen catchers, but you know,
Hey, this they make $100,000. I think
listen,
I'll do it.
for 100 G's, absolutely.
Hey,
But
Phillies, I'll do it.
listen, but it's always funny, like then seeing all the people that are talking and jarring and stuff like that. And this is where Wink, there he goes. There's
Yeah.
the double birds to the fans.
And then he got like a standing ovation the next night in Seattle.
Well, naturally, home team, and it's like
Standing ovation. But that was interesting, man. That was an interesting fight where a lot of people got involved, and it just like kept going on and on and on. It almost seemed like it wasn't going to be stopping anytime soon. It was kind of crazy.
we should do a show dedicated to like the best baseball brawls or something.
That's a great idea.
Because I mean, not to say I'm not a violent person. I like
Me,
long walks on the beach like any other person, but
I don't.
you don't like getting sand in your feet.
Nah, I mean, well, no, I don't. No, well,
Tell the
I
truth,
don't.
shame the devil.
I don't mind getting the sand on my feet. It's that when it's time to get off the beach, I hate still having the sand on my feet. Or I went and rinsed off, and now my feet are wet and like weird feeling. You don't really want to put your feet back in shoes, and now you're like walking around and trying to figure. Or you've got like some slides on. Notice I didn't say flip flops. If you got some slides on, and then your feet are kind of like that might be a little bit wet because maybe you dried them, but now they're kind of slipping. It's a long walk for me. I don't mind walking on the beach. Don't need the long walks because when you walk long on the beach, it means you got to come back. So long walk is long walk back. But that being said, I'll walk on the part where the water is just like kind of what's it called? The crest, not the crest, the tide, where the tide just comes up. I'll walk along that part.
I,
Unless
I
it's
like
dark.
I like I like beaches where like if it's a boardwalk or just like a walkway, like you can just literally walk right on, get on the beach and walk right off.
Yeah, yeah, I like that too. I'd rather do that because once you get wet and then you get the sand all on you, the sand don't want to come off. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. I'm sorry. Um, let's move forward. I don't have my notes in front of me. Miguel. What are we moving on to?
Um, Still in the baseball news, there was a article that I had read about an interesting situation with Freddie Freeman, who fired his agent over the weekend. Um,
Tell me about that.
so Freddie Freeman fired his agent because
Say that again.
I said Freddie Freeman fired his agent.
Say it one more time.
Freddie Freeman fired his agent.
I don't know. It's just funny. It's like a tongue twister a little bit. Go ahead. It's what's it called alliteration or
I I I
something like the constant use of the. I'm sorry. I'm an English major. I'm a nerd. Don't worry.
I
Freddie
was
Freeman fired his agent. Go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
got I got a C average in English because I couldn't write papers. Thank you for bringing that up.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring back that harsh memory.
So Freddie Freeman released his agent from his contract. Is that like is that better for you, sir?
No, it's not.
All right, so take four. Freddie Freeman fired his agent um over what he found out later was. All right, we'll back up. So everybody knows that Freddie Freeman became a free agent in the offseason, and then there was this labor issue. There was a strike, and then once the strike was over, he started to renegotiate with the Atlanta Braves. So allegedly, the agent gave the Atlanta Braves a certain number. The Atlanta Braves only moved up; they only inched a little bit further, and then all of a sudden, there was no other contact. So the Atlanta Braves signed a player for the amount that Freddie Freeman was actually looking for. So Freddie Freeman wound up signing with the Dodgers for about the same amount of money that this other player from the Braves was making. Because I think it was, what is his name? Why do I keep forgetting his name?
Is it? It's not Harris, was it?
No, Olson, Matt Olson. Matt
Oh,
Olson was a free agent from the Atlanta Braves at they signed to an 8 year, $168 million contract. And Freddie Freeman signed for 6 years for 162 million. So rumor had it that the reason why the agent um didn't present the offer to Freddie Freeman or kind of ignored anything after that was that he knew Freddie Freeman would sign the cheaper deal.
hmm.
That makes sense.
Yes.
So the way Freddie Freeman posted, he's like he's still in a fluid situation with the agent's company, but he's no longer working with that agent, as they say. And then, if you notice, I think it was this past weekend they did a whole big ring ceremony, and they actually did a whole presentation and dedicated, part of the ceremony to Freddie Freeman, where the manager came out and dedicated and gave him his ring, beautiful standing ovation. He cried, everything like that. So it was kind of like a kumbaya, this was a situation that didn't have to happen, but it did. And, we actually did want you all this time, but your agent mucked it up, kind of.
Well, he's just found out that his agent did that.
Yeah, and the rumor had it that he found out because he had a conversation with the owner of the Braves, and so it kind of cleared things up. This was about they said about a week or a couple weeks ago, because he was still kind of bitter about it. Like I should not have had to leave Atlanta, but you guys never offered anything. And then they said, well, wait a minute, we did. It's just that we didn't hear anything back from your agent.
Wow.
So when presented this information to the agent, what the sources say is that he was none too pleased, to put it
Fired
lightly.
for being incompetent. Think about this. Um. Oh shoot! I lost my train of thought. Dog, I hate when that happens, man. This whole it'll come to me. It's about Freddie Freeman.
How he's a Philly killer, how we can't strike him out, and how he always hits a home run in clutch situations against us.
Lost my whole train of thought, man. Hang on.
We can recommend Ginkgo biloba and see if they'll sponsor the show.
Yeah, they probably need to because doggone it. I was about to make the greatest point of show history. I
You know,
was.
you know what's gonna happen when we do our pre-show
Oh,
next.
oh, oh, I know what I was going to say. Here we go. Does the agent still get paid off the contract?
I mean, this happened what 6 months ago. So what's done is done. It's just I think at the end of the day, it ruins his reputation going forward.
Ruins his rep, but he definitely is probably getting paid going forward until this contract is up.
Yeah, because I mean, I would think like anybody else that's an agent under him now they have to second guess. Like, wait a minute, did you absolutely negotiate the best deal that you could for me in good faith?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Going to answer your phone? Are you
The-
going to listen to your voicemail?
you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of going through the process of purchasing the house that I'm at now.
Mhm.
Long story short, there was a lot of him and hawing, blah 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 blah. And the person was they just kept adding like things like, oh, we need you to do this. It's like, well, we don't have to do it, so we're not going to. And then out of the clear blue, they asked, well, how much did the a house appraise for? Right now, when a person is selling the house, the only way they know how much the house appraised for is if they actually purchase the appraisal themselves. But usually the person that's buying the house is the one that pays for the appraisal, and it's up to the buyer to decide if they want to give that information to the seller,
Mhm.
but by law you don't have to.
Okay.
So we knew that we won because the house appraised for $10,000 above asking, and we paid more for the house. So they already knew that they messed up because of all of the the stalling tactics, and we want to do this and we want to do that. So it's like, did they really operate in the best faith for their customer?
Sounds like no.
I forget, she had a weird name. I'm not gonna put her whole information out there. But she was when we looked at her, when we finally saw her at closing, we're like, you ever look at somebody and it's like they just deserve a slap, like just a straight
Oh yeah.
like not even it doesn't even have to be like a clean slap, just like a quick like or like when you have a child and you don't want to beat the ever living crap out of them and they just need like a good shake. Like if they have right, yeah, like a pop, like like when you shake somebody so much, it's like they bite their tongue. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shake.
Well, glad you didn't do it because it probably wouldn't have worked out for
Her
you.
her weave wasn't tight either, and she had a really bad wig. Sorry, I had to put that out there.
Well, all right. Well, that agent will probably still get paid, but he probably won't be making much money after that or after this. Let's move on real quick. Just wanted to just bring up one real quick thing. I want to sit this. I'm gonna sit this in front of me right here. Pro Football Focus put out a ranking of all 32 teams rosters, NFL teams rosters going into this upcoming season. And we'll go through the top 10, and I'll put the top 10 out there for you real quick, Miguel, and you give me your thoughts after I put it out there. Of course, number one, well, not of course, but number one is Buffalo Bills. Number two, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Three, LA Chargers. Four, LA Rams. Five, Green Bay Packers. Six would be your Cleveland Browns. Seven will be your Philadelphia Eagles. Eight are the Cincinnati Bengals. Nine are the Kansas City Chiefs. And number 10 are the Miami Dolphins, the Dolphins of Miami. Very interesting list, Miguel. What do you think?
After the playoff game that I saw between the Chiefs and the Bills, where I believe that that's the first time in history where a team scored on every single drive.
Yeah, I think you're
I,
right.
I think that the Buffalo Bills being at number one, I think is accurate. Um, the Eagles are what, six?
Eagles are seven, I believe. Let me take a look. They are seven. Yes, seven.
I'm trying to see the rank. I can't go to past the Bills.
Well, I'll give them to you again. You got the Bills at one, the Buccaneers two, Chargers three, Rams four, Packers five, Browns six, Eagles seven, Bengals eight, Chiefs nine, and Miami Dolphins come in at number 10.
So three things. I'm glad the Cowboys aren't there. Next, I think the Chargers and the Browns are too high. And I only say the Browns because there's still the situation with Deshaun Watson. I
Mhm.
think he's going to be suspended for a year, maybe two,
Mm.
um, because of this other person that's coming out. And yes, he settled 20 of the 24, 25 cases out of court. Um, but I think that I just have this feeling they're going to make an example of him and call it a season for him. And then you have the situation with um, the former starting quarterback for the Browns, initially demanding a trade.
Mhm.
And then it's like, what do you do with him? Do you just, hey, well, Watson is suspended for 2 years. Can you play until, you know what I mean?
Unfortunately for him, he's under contract and he may have to. That's the crazy thing about it. He may
Yeah.
have to. I thought the Chargers were kind of high, but the Chargers were pretty good even though they didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I'm still burned by the Philip Rivers years, always being like,
yeah, yeah.
it's like I
Philip Rivers was probably the best. What did I call him? The best overrated player in the NFL.
who's that?
Philip Rivers.
Oh, Phillips, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when he was the best overrated player.
I mean, he would always get you to a certain point, and then it was almost sad. Like, it's almost like to start with like Stratford, and then he finally went to Los Angeles, and then all was kind of made better because he was a player I was rooting for because I think he deserved to win because of what happened in Detroit. I think he really got the butt end of the stick on in Detroit, which was sad to
Yeah,
see.
about Detroit. I mean, they had a decent squad. They should have beat the Cowboys in that one playoff game. Let's keep it real. And one of the best wide receivers that he could have had retired early. So
I
it
think,
just they never
yeah,
really came back from that. Never
yeah.
really. Um, I guess I didn't really want to see him win. To be honest, I mean, it didn't really matter to me. I guess more so, I didn't really want to see the Rams win. Um, but I did. Like for whatever reason, I wanted to see Odell get one. I don't know why. I think because like the whole how it all went down with the Giants and it just they kind of gave him the boot. I wanted to see him win one. I didn't want to see I didn't want to see the quarterback from the Bengals get one yet. Like it would have been I'd have been
Not
mad.
you're not the first person. Is it? I mean, is there such thing as winning a championship too soon? Because
No,
I've heard
here's
that.
my reason. Because
Okay.
my reason has nothing to do with him only being in the second year, but it has everything to do with Jalen Hurts. He wins a Super Bowl in his second year. I'm a Hurts fan. I like Hurts. That puts a whole lot more pressure on Jalen Hurts to make
Mhm.
something happen. And as an Eagles fan, I feel like a lot of people are already, saying a lot of things about Hurts, and I want him to be successful. But I feel like if what's my man name in Cincinnati? If he had won the Super Bowl, it's like okay, well, Jalen, same draft class, what's up? Or no, I'm sorry, not saying. I think Jalen came out the year before him, but this guy, you came out a year before this kid. Y'all were in college at the same time. What's up? Why can't you do what he's doing?
I would actually, yeah, I agree with you there. I think, yeah, it would definitely put more quarterbacks on notice,
Mm-hmm.
and more pressure on the coaches. But it's like, think about the playoffs that we saw last year
Great
with
playoffs.
Joe Burrow, with Josh Allen, and I honestly think Cincinnati should be too. I really do, just based off of what happened in the Super Bowl.
Well, remember this is roster, not team, not necessarily like power rankings or something like that. So we both were kind of looking at it as just the team itself.
I got you.
I'm looking at Buffalo. They kept their team together. Um, the Chargers. They have a decent squad. They have a solid squad. Bosa, Khalil Mack got slowed by injuries and stuff. But with what's their quarterback's name? I'm sorry, Justin Herbert or A Bear. Is it A Bear or Herbert? It's Herbert.
I call him Herbert because it just looks.
Yeah, I think it's Herbert. Anyway, Herbert
Well,
out.
excuse me. You're the English major, so
Yeah, his name's not English.
it's
Well, if
a
it's A
bear.
Bear, it's not English. But if it's Herbert, it's English. Um, I'm just looking at these rosters and I'm like, I don't see how the Packers are as high. I mean, I think all they really lost was that receiver.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's a big loss, though.
it is. That's what I'm saying. I don't see how they're that high. They lost in the semis or they lost in the conference finals.
Semis, I believe they lost at home again. I believe.
Yeah, it was at home. It definitely was at home. And the Browns, Eagles did made a whole bunch of signings this year. They're still young in some places, and they're experienced in others. So we'll have to see how that meshes. Cincinnati's pretty much got the same route. I think they lost a safety somewhere. Um, the Chiefs, I'm surprised that they're as low as they are, but I'm kind of not. I mean, they lost the Honey Badger, they lost um, Tariq Hill.
That would be equivalent to when the Eagles let Brian Dawkins go, and maybe the same season letting Deshaun Jackson go. That's what it's equivalent to for the Chiefs. You pretty much lost Deshaun Jackson in his prime before he started getting injured, and Brian Dawkins in the same year. So I think those are two huge losses.
That's a good call out by you. It's a good call out by you. I like that. I don't know. I want the Eagles to be higher, but I still want them to sneak up on people. But there's a lot of talk about them. So I feel like people talk about the Eagles. I feel like the Eagles have been talked about a lot every offseason since Andy Reid has been the coach. I just feel like we're just one of those talked about franchise. We're not the Cowboys, we're not the Patriots or whoever Tom Brady's playing for at the moment. But I feel like we get talked about quite a bit. Um,
You mean like in a negative way?
Negative, like for many years there, a lot of pundits were picking the Eagles to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, like the what is it? Who was it that?
Golix, your Sean Salisbury's, you know, all
No,
you know, all,
what was the stupid comment that was it? Namdi Asimawa that said this was. Oh no, it was
the Dream Team comment.
the Dream Team. That was that
Vince,
the quarter.
Vince Young.
Vince Young. That's right.
Thinking about that the other day, that whole Dream Team thing. So stupid. I mean, I know where he's coming from, but it's like, bro, it's football. Like,
Yeah, it's one of those jinxes that you don't say, which I I don't. Again, I don't like calling people out, but we had a funny moment during the free fall in our game. The I was coming in to talk to my pitcher, and the guys were cracking up, and then my shortstop was like, "Your third baseman did something that was so stupid, and he jinxed everything." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, is our pitcher throwing a no hitter? And he gave up 2 hits.
oh man, are you serious?
It's like you don't say the jinx. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So it was just it was a funny moment, in the game, which I was like, oh,
Never,
live and
never.
learn, live and learn, man, live and learn.
Are you stumping me today?
Yeah.
Who are you stumping me with?
I'll just give you the name, right?
Yeah.
All right. There is the young man right there.
Oh Lord. 2017 World Series. Who won the 2017? What's this 2020? Let's see. We had the who won last year? Damn, who won the World Series last year? Oh, the Braves. Yeah, the Braves, the Dodgers, the
Dodgers,
Nationals.
Astros, and Red Sox, I think, were the last four.
So
Is
would
it?
that be a Red Sox World Series 2017?
No,
Is that Astros World Series?
that's an Astros World Series, the one they cheated to get.
Verlander.
Dude, you are on a frap and roll.
Yes. Love me, everybody. Love
Dude,
me, Justin Verlander.
this is three in a row.
Greatest
Four.
name ever. Well, greatest first name ever.
Four in a row.
Let me see if I can find a question to stump you with. Let me see what we got. Here we go. Oh, and just for the folks that are with us, man, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. But you can also check us out on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, Amazon, and all that good stuff. You can check us out. We sound even better when you don't see us. I promise you. All right, here we go. Ooh, you can. I'll give you the topic, right? And you can ask for a new topic, or you can just go with the topic you have for double points. Okay. The topic of the questions: ice hockey.
Okay.
You staying with it?
Sure.
Double points. Here we go. What is the diameter of a standard NHL hockey puck?
Next question, please.
I'll give you multiple choice.
A hockey. Wait, you said the hockey puck?
The puck, standard
Okay.
NHL hockey puck.
Okay.
Is it 2.5 inches? Is it 3.5 inches? Is it 3 inches? Is it 4 inches?
3.5.
3.5 is incorrect. The correct answer would be 3 inches. That's pretty small, ain't it? How you supposed to see that? I don't know. All right, here we go. Which athlete measuring in at 5 feet 3 inches tall is the shortest player in NHL history? I wouldn't know this. I'll give you the multiple choice. Would it be Roy Waters, Theo Fleury, Nathan Gerby, Gerb, Gerb? I don't know. Darren Pang.
Theo Fleury.
That's incorrect. The correct answer is Roy Waters. Worters. That's why I struggle saying this name. I'm glad you're getting these questions and not me. Here we go. Who was the first woman to play in an NHL game?
Oh man.
Your multiple choice options are Haley Wickenheiser, Jenny Potter, Angela James, Manon Room.
Phenomenon.
That's correct. I'm not even going to try to say that name again. You're absolutely right. Now, here we go. Which term describes the time when a team plays with fewer players on the ice due to penalties? Do you need
No, re-ask it. It's a
which
either
term describes the time when a team plays with fewer players on the ice due to penalties?
the penalty kill.
No, you're on the right path, but no.
When they have fewer players or more players.
When a team plays with fewer players on the ice due to penalties. You know what? You know what? I'm going to have to give you that because of my lack of knowledge of the game. Okay? The answer they have here is power play, which it's a power play.
Yeah, but it's
But
a power play.
if you have fewer people on the ice, then you're running your penalty kill defense.
Right, but if you have more people on the ice, then you're on the power play.
Then you're on the
So
power play. So I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you double points. It was worth 1 point, so you get two.
sweet.
All right, here we go. Which which natural disaster forced the NHL to cancel a 1995 game between the San Jose Sharks and the Detroit Red Wings? Was it a forest fire, an earthquake, a landslide, or a flood?
Either it has to be either earthquake or fire. I'd say earthquake first.
Earthquake is incorrect.
It was the fires.
Fire is also incorrect. The correct
Really?
answer is a flood.
Where was the flood in Detroit?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't doesn't say. You're not supposed to ask the host questions like that. All
But
right.
mama, but daddy, why?
All right, here we go.
That's your
Last
mama.
one. Which team did Dave Ritchie play for when he scored the first official NHL goal in 1917? Ooh, these are hard.
Which
Your
what?
Which team did Dave Ritchie play for when he scored the first official NHL goal in 1917? I'll go ahead and
The,
go with the multiple choice, unless you want to go ahead and
no,
guess.
I was thinking the Alabama Cracker Jacks, but that's the wrong sport.
No, that's not right. So here we go: the Toronto Arenas, the Boston Bruins, the Ottawa Senators, the Montreal Wanderers. Your answer, please.
What is that from?
Class Act. One of my
That's
favorite.
right. Okay, okay. I'll say Ottawa Senators. Ottawa.
Well, Senators is incorrect. The correct answer, unless you want to make another guess.
What was it? The Montreal Wanderers. What are they?
Montreal Wanderers is correct. You will receive single points for that since you had to guess twice. But you finished the game with
3 whole points.
no. That question was worth 3 points on its own, so it's not double, but you get the single, and you had two already. So that means you finished with 5 entire points. Congratulations.
Out of a possible 20, I feel good about myself.
Thanks for playing our game. Let me see, out of a possible 12.
No, out of 12, it's
No, 12, 12, 12. What's 12 plus 16? Out of a possible 18. Out of a possible 18.
it's a bad score.
And it's not great, but you'll come back. You'll come back strong next week. All right.
Yeah.
Big weekend coming up here. Holiday weekend. Got any plans for holiday, Miguel? Before we get out of here,
My goal is to sleep and not get my fingers blown off.
it's pretty good goal. It's a pretty good goal.
No, it was so what was supposed to happen. We have the tournament going up until the 3rd. So let me rewind. So we're playing pool play. There's 8 pools. Top 2 teams in each pool go to the playoff round on Saturday. So we would play at between Anne Arundel County Community College, Johns Hopkins University, and it would be a pool of 16, and then semifinals, quarterfinals, semifinals, finals on Sunday. So that's the goal, but we'll see how things play out after tomorrow.
Quick question about your team before I let you go, and I think I know the answer because I think I ask you like at least once a month. Have you played at Joe Cannon yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. That was actually the site of my first collegiate base hit.
Nice.
Joe Cannon Field against Coppin State. All right. Well, with that all being said, we appreciate y'all for checking out the Check Swing podcast. You can check us out at any time over on our YouTube, on the New Twist Radio YouTube channel. So go ahead over to youtube.com/New Twist Radio. As you can see right down here, New Twist Radio. And make sure you subscribe. You can check out all the Check Swing podcasts. You can check out the 10-7 show. You can check out Intelligent Ignorance. You can check out Let's Not Argue, all the shows that we've had here on New Twist Radio. And for Miguel and myself, we want to thank y'all for chilling with us and rocking with us and just listening to us. We hope you enjoy your weekend. And we will talk to y'all next time here on the Check Swing podcast. Peace out, y'all.